This is Eagle 7 Sports Radio 103.7 FM. This program is being streamed all over the world, and I want to thank you for your reactions. Since I promoted my conversation with my very special guest this morning, I have received all manner of reactions, incredible reactions from so many people. And little wonder, he is the chairman. He has so many titles, but let me just say that he's the chairman of Remo Stars Football Club in Ikenne, you know, the home place of Chief Obafemi Awolowo. That's where the man went and located his football club. And anyway, he comes from there. Otumba Kunle Soname. Let me just make sure he's there and we can hear his voice very clearly. I can see him. He's looking like a young boy. He's an old man. Kunle, good morning.
Very good morning, Big Shag.
Fantastic. This one you specially arranged for me because you are looking so fresh and so young this morning. And you and I have been coming together. We've been coming for a long, long time. So if people think I'm an old man, you're an old man too. Anyway, welcome this morning.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you for honoring us. Well, yes. First of all, you know, private ownership of clubs is not new in Nigeria at all. It has always been since the 1960s, starting with people like Chief Israel Adebajo of stationery stores. And of course, the more famous ones that people remember easily is Chief Emmanuel Iwanyanwu of National of Owerri, Chief MKO Abiola Babes of Abeokuta, and so many others, including women also. Princess Jegede also set up her own club, and so on and so forth. Jerome Mudoji and all of that. And each one of them made a mark in Nigerian football. But something was common to all of them. None of them sustains up to this day. And I recall the interview I had with Chief MK Abiola. He told me why he had to terminate the MK Abiola Football Club. It was because it was a one-way drain pipe. There was no money coming into it. And then suddenly here comes Otumba Kunle Soname. And you started running your club. Many people don't know that you started a long time ago. Started running your club many years ago. The club still sustains. And today, the club has become a model professional club in Nigeria. So you are the right person to take us on this journey of how club football and the business of football as a whole has sustained in this country, particularly in an era when we say professional football has started. It started in the year 1990, and I was part of those that actually was started it in that year. So let's start by you telling us how you have fared on this journey. How has it been? You are doing what nobody has been able to do in the history of Nigerian football. Sustain a club for well over a decade. When did you start? And just tell us your journey to this point.
Thank you, and very good morning, Big Shag. And I must also thank you for having me. The club actually started in the year 2010. It was somewhat accidental, but that is a story for another day, I guess. But anyway, we started 2010. You know, we had a collaboration with a club in Belgium when we were starting. The club is called FC Dendelu. That's FC Denda. So we started as FC Denda. But the deal broke down. So we reverted back to Remo Stars FC. And we relocated to Ikenne in the year 2011. You know, I mean, obviously for for financial reasons. It's a lot easier easier and cheaper to operate a football club from where I come from. So that was actually why we came to Ikene. From then on, we've been managing ourselves, and then here we are today.
Well, as I said, you have done what nobody has been able to do, and you are not a politician. You see, some people set up the football club to use the club for political objectives. I don't know if anybody set it up to run it as a business. You are the only one that appears to have all the structures in place to make the football club business. So tell me how profitable it has been for you so far, your experiences in making, not just because it's not just Remo Stars you have, it is a whole conglomerate of facilities and infrastructure and so on around that football club. Tell us a little about it.
Okay, so I must also say that I used to be a politician.
Okay.
In fact, this club came about when I was a local government chairman way back then. And so when I was finishing my term, the then incoming chairman said he never wanted a football club. I mean, so I actually didn't believe in sports. But I've assembled quite a number of young boys that I felt were talented, So I now saw that, look, if I close this up now, then it's going to be a problem for these kids. And that was why I took it upon myself. That was why I said at the beginning that it was quite accidental. It was not as if I set out to do this. So I took ownership of the club, and it's been a journey that has not been very, 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 very smooth, like any other business. We had our teaching problems. But one thing was clear to me, that I was never going to go back into politics. So that helped in shaping my focus. Based off of what you had said earlier, that people set up football clubs for various reasons. It's and in this in this part of the world is usually for political reasons. So probably that was the major difference between what we are trying to do and what the likes of MKO, Chief Umuyanyahu were doing then. So it's we know that football can be really profitable, and then it quickly occurred to us, that it's that there must be layers to this for it to be profitable. And that was when we set up our academy. That's called Beyond Limit Football Academy. And because for us, the focus in Europe had shifted to the younger ones. You should get these kids at a much younger age, coach them, teach them the arts of football, and then by the time they are 18, they should be getting ready to go to Europe, and then maybe 18, at most 19. So maybe I should also say this story. I had a boy, one Ahmed Agogunleri boy, very fantastic player, and we had an opportunity of taking him to Portugal, so we took him there, um, went on trials. I was with him, and then when we sat down at the table for them to discuss figures, we were told that we're not going to get paid, that we will need to wait for the future sell-on. I said, okay, that didn't sound right to me, but I said, okay, even if we're going to do that, what's this sell-on going to be? And they said they're going to take 75 and we will take 25.
Wow.
And I said, my friend, this definitely is not adding up. So we went to another club, then to a third club, and we got the same results from all the three of them. So quickly it dawned on me that if I want to do this business, I must also be on the other side of the table, whereby you have a club in Europe. So before my academy, right, I've had a club in Europe. So usually it should be the other way around. But the way this played out was that I had a club in Europe before my academy. So the club in Europe, then we started sending, few players there, 2-3 players. And we saw that the adaptation period was like 18 months for them. It was like between 12 and 18 months for them. That again, it quickly dawned on me that there must be a way to shorten this adaptation period. Hence the establishment of Beyond Limits Football Academy, where we try to set up the academy in such a way that it will have a semblance of what they will see in Europe, such that adaptation becomes shorter for them when they get to Europe. Because prior to then, we were having Remo Stars feeder team. That's Remo Stars Academy. So it quickly dawned on us that, look, we had to set something up, something that would look like what they will see in Europe. So that was what brought us to Beyond Limits. We had to put an academy together that has a semblance of, what they will see in Europe. So, and that has really worked. The guys we sent to Europe now, they adapt faster. The adaptation is now between 3 months and 6 months, which, which has satisfied what we set out to do. So that's been the journey.
Look, this is an incredible story because it just clears up so many cobwebs in my own mind, for example, and I've learned already. About 3 weeks ago or so, you and I were at MKO Abiola Sports Arena in Abeokuta, where Remo Stars, the champion club of Nigeria today, probably the most successful club of this era, played against Mamelodi Sundowns of South Africa in the Champions Club Cup. And by the end of that match, so many things became glaring. One of them is that whereas the South Africans had 7 or 8 of their players playing in their national team, and all of them were local players in their domestic league, playing for Mamelodi, whatever their name is, Sundowns. We had Remo Stars, on the other hand, who, on becoming champions of Nigeria, had 6 players who could easily have been in the national team, but had been sold to Europe and were no longer in the team. And so we saw this yawning gap in the quality of performances between the two clubs. Is it that selling players to Europe the way we are doing is affecting the quality of our clubs, particularly in the Champions Club competitions in Nigeria? Do you see where I'm heading? If you had had the 6 or so that you sold in your team, the game would have ended differently. But now we saw the glaring differences between the South African League and the Nigerian League and the effect on the national teams of the two countries. South Africa had 7 or 8 in one club playing in their national team. We had players who had moved to Europe, and all our players are playing for different teams. Recall when I was playing, we had Shooting Stars, 6 players in the national team. Rangers, 6 players in the national team. It was very easy to put together a strong national team, all from the domestic league. Just your thoughts on what I have just enumerated and your own experience about it, particularly when 6 of your players moved abroad. Is the emphasis more on moving players abroad or developing them for the national league, for the national team? Or why are they moving the way they are doing and South African players are not moving that way? It's a whole conversation. So just take us through as much as you can.
Okay, thank you very much, Victor, once again. This topic is multifaceted. You know, it's a whole lot. So, football is a business for us. That is objective. Clubs, even abroad, must sell players to remain afloat. It's just like you said, it's glaring that when you have players in the national team that are local-based players or that are home-based players, it has its own advantages because you can gather them together for a week very quickly, put them in a camp, let them train, and that helps with their cohesion. But if they are all abroad, scattered everywhere, that becomes a bit cumbersome. And of course, even the European clubs won't leave their players unless it's a FIFA international window, you know. So definitely that advantage is there for having that's home-based players in the national team. That helps a lot. And that is evident in the fact that we were in the same group with South Africa and they qualified ahead of us. I'm not saying that is the only reason, but that clearly must have helped them. There are many reasons why players go abroad, but the fundamental reason, the main reason, is for them to better their own lots and the lots of their families. Clubs, for instance, clubs like mine were forced to sell players abroad. In some instances, some we willingly do, some we were kind of forced to do, and that is it's a Nigerian thing, you know. Not all players are professionals. Once they get an offer from abroad, they come, oh, this club wants me, sir. That. No, my friend. You still have 2 more years on your contract. There is no way you're going to leave. Then you start seeing the father, the mother, the uncle, everybody begging, oh, this is the one lifetime opportunity for us to make money, for us to be able to live better. So at the end of the day, you are kind of forced to release those players. That is on one side. on the other side, the club itself still has to remain afloat. Like I can boldly say it that the budgets, of a professional football club in Nigeria playing in MPFL in a season is minimum, 500 million.
Wow.
Minimum. That's barest minimum, and you must kind of raise that. Of course, we all know that the attendances in our leagues is not really much these days. So that's unlike when you were playing, where we usually come to watch you. The stadiums were filled to the brim, people are willing to pay, to watch games and things like that. That is no longer there. So the major avenue for clubs to make money now is by trading players. So, and for us, I mean, like in the last 3-4 seasons, I don't put a dime of my money into the club. The club runs itself, gets its own money, run itself, make their expenses. I just go there, watch the games, and then enjoy myself. So clubs must sell to remain afloat. The major reason, so if you look at, now imagine if good players do not need to go abroad, in the kind of numbers they do. Just like you said last season, maybe he sent about 3 players from Rebel Stars abroad, to raise money to run the club and things like that. But these players certainly will not have gone abroad if there is enough money in the game in Nigeria.
Very good.
That is where the problem lies. That is the critical issue we need to solve for. There must be more money in the game in Nigeria. Imagine if a player can earn, let's even say $1,000, say 1.5 million naira here. There's a likelihood that he will be patient to wait, play, and then sustain his family. Even at $1,000, there are players in Mamelodi Sundowns that earn $12,000, $13,000, some around $8,000. So you hardly see them go anywhere because they don't need to. There's no reason to. So their best legs remain in their leagues. And of course, you know that just like in football, iron sharpeneth iron for sure. When you keep playing against good players, on a weekly basis, you try to get better. And also when you are surrounded by good players in your own team, you perform better as well. So even if you have 2-3 good players and then others are average players, you are never going to see the kind of results you want. So until that time that there is enough money in the league, whereby, look, in this league, for instance, it's a 20 team league. 20 team league. And last season, 19 of the participants were only collected 10 million naira each. 10
Wow.
million each. And like I said, their expenses is over 500 million for sure. So that is not sustainable. It's only governments that can do this, and they just put taxpayers' money in there and keep running it, because for them it's probably a crime reduction strategy. that look, money you don't spend on youth development, you end up spending it on uh, on um, on on providing solutions for crime. So until that time that we are able to attract big money into this league, this will keep going on. Like the podcast you saw, that was something that went around after we lost to Mamelodi Sundowns. That I said, look, we didn't stand a chance. Yes, we sold some players. Yeah, that's fine. That's normal. But even the best of us, if we have not sold any player, we will still have lost. Yes, maybe the results won't have been that bad. And of course, the results shouldn't have been even that bad. I guess two things affected. One, our preparation was not good enough. And I've said it, that's on the outset, that we didn't prepare well enough. But even if we had, right, the quality was just different. I mean, we both saw the game.
Yeah.
The quality was different. It's a different league. I mean, they are in another league. So we will still have lost anyway. So the podcast you saw, where I said, look, we didn't stand a chance, that was recorded like 3 months before we played Mamelodi.
Okay.
Right? And I wasn't referring to Mamelodi. I was even referring to the North Africans. And look, when clubs pay as much as even $5,000, your best legs will go there.
Yeah.
The best legs every year in, year out, the outstanding players in our league move out. So how do you expect us to move? I mean, like, to compete. So it's important that we must attract big money into this league. And like I always say, it's a matter of chicken and egg. Big money will not come until we improve the league. And to improve the league, we need big money. So which comes first? That is the riddle we have to solve for.
Wow. Look, let me just tell you before we even go on, that this is one of the most revealing, most enlightening conversations I've ever had on the issue of football in Nigeria at club level. I want to thank you. Okay, let's look at it again now.
You're welcome, sir.
Let's look at it now. You have painted a picture for us, the correct picture of our status in African football, because the North Africans are doing a lot better in terms of their club football. Now the South Africans have joined them. South Africa that came to learn from Nigeria in 1993, 2 years after we started professional football in Nigeria. And we are saying that we want government to hands off the running of football. And you have just revealed to us now that it is only government, apart from you, and see the methodology you have used to even sustain your club, ahead of so many others that had tried and failed. It's only the governments that have the resources to sustain even this low level of national league that we are running. 500 million minimum to run a league here. How are we going to get that money? Okay, you're a businessman. How will this league become so rich that clubs can start to make money from the league itself? Not the 10 million that each one of you got in the past 3 seasons at the end of the year. That's not enough to pay wages for 1 month. So where are we? What's the possibility? You are trying. There's no other like you. And yet we have the government clubs. And yet we have people saying government should hands off. So I don't understand how this is going to work out. Your thoughts?
Okay. So, Big Sheikh, there is a way out. There is a way out. Commercialization of football resides in the youth. What we sell to these Europeans is actually is actually expectation, not the skill itself, not the art itself. We said expectation. And that is, look, if a boy can play like this at age 18, if he gets to your club in Europe, you can imagine how he's going to develop. That is what they buy. They will never see a finished product here and buy. They're simply not good enough. So, for me, any serious private person that wants to do this business must have a proper, functional, well-run academy. Because that is where the money is for now. When scouts, sports directors, when they come to Nigeria, they don't go to the leagues. They don't go to MPFL to go and look for players. No. They go to the academies. Because that is where the raw talent is. Okay, for instance, I was speaking to someone yesterday, Frederica, and so he said to me that, look, that he checked on Y Scouts. Y Scout is a platform whereby all players are, their statistics, their videos, they're exposed to the world. And he said, on Y Scouts, the best you can see of MPFL was in the year 2017. That was the latest they could find on Y Scout, 2017. But if you go to these smaller leagues, there's a league called TCC League. They're on Y Scout, they're on Eyeball, they are on these platforms whereby, because we just sit down in our own academy and we get calls from European scouts, from European sports directors. Look, we've seen this player. Can he come for trials? Can he do this? Can he, without we reaching out to them, because we have put them on the global platform. So to your question, anybody that wants to do this business must go and set up a proper academy whereby the kids will be taught properly. Because, like I said, really sell expectations. So if you are trying to sell a 24-year-old boy now, nobody's going to buy from you. Nobody. Non-Europeans going to buy. So they only buy 18, 19, maximum. If you are 20, it's too late. So the academy has to function properly, and that can now feed into the league system. Like in Vermont Stars, for instance, it's the academy players you see there are kids that are unable to make the cut in Europe. They're the ones that go in there. And it should be the other way around. Our best legs in the academy should feed into the team, should feed into the senior team. That is what obtains everywhere else in the world.
Let me just add this so he can add to that, to everything that he has said so far now. The league can sell, every league sells mostly on television. Television provides a lot of the funding for most leagues, even the European League, EPL, and so on and so forth. They require television. And television covers good products. The matches have to be good for television to invest in it. And for the matches to be good, you need first-class venues. First-class venues and first-class coverages. What hope for us in Nigerian football, where there's no television, proper television? There are no proper grounds. So for the league to even make money from its primary source of making money, where others make money, we don't even have that opportunity. Add this to everything else that you were saying before. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Big Shen. So, it's clear to everyone that that money in football is from TV. That's where the bulk of the money comes from. And I don't know how to say this without sounding a bit offensive. We just need to organize this league better. We are moving forward, but the pace, I don't even know if that is correct to say that we are moving forward. Last season, 2 seasons ago, we had TV, and now we don't even have TV anymore. So I'm not even sure we are moving forward. So, but having said that, something was clear to me. I had thought just putting the games on TV will sell itself. But we have been proven wrong in the past 2-3 seasons. The matches were on TV, right? But the money still didn't come. So quite clearly, a bit more needs to be done. It's not just putting it on TV. It has to be marketed properly. It has to be marketed properly.
And the product has to be attractive. The football has to be attractive.
Exactly.
To market it must be attractive.
Nobody will want to go to a stadium or watch a game where the goalkeeper once his team has scored, then he starts to sleep on the ground. He sleeps like 10, 15 minutes out of the 90 minutes. Of course, who wants to see that? But good enough. FIFA have solved for that. Friend, you cannot hold the ball for more than 8 seconds, then it's a foul against it. But too many things. We just need to sit down properly and rearrange this thing. That is what needs to happen. We need to sit down, put the right people to sit down, people that are knowledgeable, to sit down and craft out the way forward for this. Because if not, we'll just be running around. Of course, we are going to survive. Because like I said, we the money from we fund Remo Stars from the money from Beyond Limits. So any wise person will just go to the academy. The league itself, that's a professional team itself, is just a drain pipe. But it's good. It's good for the branding, I'm sure many people know Remo Stars and they don't know Beyond Limits. So it's good for the branding, but the money comes from Beyond Limits. The money comes from the academy. That's where, look, in the academy, between at least this season, right? We've sold 6 players.
Wow.
And these are young boys, and they command far bigger money because, like I said, we are selling expectation.
Yeah.
So, if they will buy a player in Remo Stars for, let me say, 100,000, 200,000, they buy players from the academy for 500, 600,000 euros. So that's where the money is, for sure. Look at Ebidi. That is another guy that is doing
very well,
very good football business. He doesn't even participate in the league. He's not interested. It just remains in NLU, this amateur league, just to have registration. That's all. And of course, he just commissioned his school of football. He has 2 pitches, brand new pitches, because that's where the money is, So, but of course, for proper development, I agree that we must translate this into the MPFL, because that is the gold standard, of football in any country, But we need to sit down, organize properly, do all we can, take all decisions for the benefit of the game. That is important, not for any other benefit, but for the benefit of the game.
Can state governments hands off running of clubs now? Is it possible?
Yes, it is possible. And the way to do this is they'll still be part of it because they provided infrastructures anyway. They own the stadiums, so they can actually get investors just to come and run, but they own the facility. So they can hold on to 30%, 40%, whatever it is, but get people that will put their own money. When people put their money in enterprises, they tend to look at it, a lot better, than OPM, other people's money, whether it's on TV, it's not on TV, unless they don't care. But if it is their money, they will fight tooth and nail to take the right decisions for the league.
I am not a wise businessman. So just listening to you, I will not put my money in running a club. I would rather put my money in running the academy. But that's not the issue now. What of the facilities we use now? The football grounds we play on. What are your thoughts on it? If we have only one football ground in the whole country that can host grade A international FIFA matches. And in my own humble knowledge, even that pitch is not good enough. For me, that pitch is not as good as Liberty Stadium was in the 60s and 70s. It's not as good because the Liberty Stadium ground was as good as Barcelona is today. Then. So what are we not doing right? The only good pitch we have is probably your own and I don't know, one other somewhere. And those ones are still not FIFA level. Well, not FIFA. When you say FIFA, we diminish it because FIFA themselves don't know what they are doing up to a certain extent. But we're talking of grade A pitches where the best matches can be played. No matter how poor the teams are, when they hit those pitches, they play well. And those matches can now be sold for television. Anyway, what do you think about the facilities in Nigeria?
Okay. There's definitely a dearth of facilities. That is clear to everyone. And for me, that is where government needs to spend money, not in running clubs.
Very good.
Just provide the infrastructures, sporting infrastructures. That is the duty of government.
Very good.
I've been privileged to be part of what they are doing in Portugal, football-wise. So if you go to Portugal, this is a country of about 9.8 million people. They have, that is pitches for kids to train, international matches. They have over 1,000. For 9.8 million people. They have over 1,000. Here, you have just said it, maybe we only have you to play grade A matches, that is where government needs to spend money. Provide infrastructures. Let the business people come and do the business of football.
Very good.
But and it can be done sustainably. You see, I keep saying it, when people put their money, when it is your own money that is different from other people's money, OPM, we tend to take better decisions. So if you have 20, like if you have a private league in Nigeria, for instance, right? I can tell you for free that it will do better than what we have now. Not because they are better, not because they are more clever than the other people, but because it is their money. So they will look at it properly, they will take decisions in the best interest of the game.
Kunle, okay, one statement, then one question. The statement is I visited, I think it's Manchester University or University of Manchester, one of the two, either Manchester or University of Manchester, one of the two. And we went for a competition, Nigeria School Sports Federation competition, and I think it's Manchester University or University of Manchester. They had 35 football fields, 35 football fields in a university, 35. And the list of those pitches is as good as the one in Uyo within a university campus. And this was a competition by the Nigeria School Sports Federation. Anyway, continental competitions. I'm feeling sorry, not for you, for all those that qualify in our league and have to play at this continental competition. How expensive is it to play in these championships?
Well, to prosecute an away game, maybe you spend like 100, 120 million.
Would you
in your own home? Okay, sorry.
No, go ahead. Yeah, I'm just laughing because you can imagine winning your championship now, your league, and then you have to prosecute one match away with 100 and something million. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it. I mean, that is the cost. You can't shy away from it. You have to pay for tickets. You have to pay for hotels. It is what it is. You spend minimum 100, 120. I mean, we've been doing this regularly. And the 500 I spoke about for the season is for the local league. So if you qualify, this is in addition to it.
Wow.
If you're playing, let me even bust your bubble. When it was clear that we were to meet Mamelodi, Mamelodi approached us, officially, that they want us to come and play both legs in South Africa.
Repeat that.
Now look, Mamelodi approached us.
Yes.
That they are open to host us in South Africa for both legs, because they knew that we were renovating our turf.
Okay.
So they knew that we are not going to play in our stadium, and they know that look, you need to go to Uyo. To go to Uyo is expenses. So what did they offer? They said we'll pay your flight tickets.
Wow.
You don't need to hire any pitch. You play on our pitch. The gate takings and the TV for the first leg, which is your own home game, you will receive.
Wow.
And they will host you till the second leg, which is their own.
Incredulous.
In my mind, a businessman.
Yeah.
A businessman without pride or arrogance should have taken the offer.
Yeah.
We didn't take the offer because of the prestige of Nigeria. That no, we are not going to agree to that. No. We're not. But we knew that, look, that was
good business,
the right thing to do. Yeah, I mean, commercially.
Yeah.
I mean, because it was clear to me that we obviously don't stand a chance against them. We will still have lost, just like we did now. It will have cost us zero. We will have made a bit income, So it's we have a bit of a way to go, to be honest with you. We have a bit of a way to go. I mean, of course, we did the same to Zilimaju, that team we met in the first round.
Yeah.
I mean, they played here the first leg, and you also told them, my friend, instead of us going to Comoros, you can remain here. We pay for your hotels, we pay for your feeding, we pay for everything. You don't need to pay for ground. And they agreed, and we played both legs here.
Incredible.
Of course, that was even worse because they didn't have any ground in their country that was approved then. for the game. So they would still have taken us to South Africa. So it was cheaper for us than going to South Africa, my friend. Let's play both here. We'll host you. We'll pay. Of course, we need to pay the referees indemnities, and all the rest of that. We pay the referees tickets. It's not easy playing on the continent. That's without subvention or without help from
whoever,
from government, from anywhere. It's
we have somebody on the line. They've been calling.
Okay.
Let's see if we can hear him. Hello. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Yes. Good morning. How are you? Who are you and where are you calling from?
My name is Babadi. I'm calling from Ajegunle.
Okay, Ajegunle. All right, go ahead.
I want to ask our honorable sir. I don't know. For my own little field, for the little time, I've been listening to this little radio station, and that is when I really get, develop a big person in Nigeria league. So since then, in fact, I can't even see one Nigerian player as the Nigerian league can identify me. I can't say this is Remo star player. This is a local star player. This one is that. I'm saying that I don't know when I want to ask you when a bad country like the nation Portugal in their league over there, sir, is it their government, their state government that holds the club over there? Is it the one that financing the club over there, sir? That's my question, sir. And why is it like that in our own country here, sir? Why our own federal government or state government can't wash off their hands over our league? So when investors came in, so they can have some, maybe the league will be much better than I still see it on TV. And I also recall that we don't have sponsor in our own Nigerian league for some years now. Maybe not until yesterday, or I was hearing it from what we call Nakana on the Global Sports Radio. So I want to enlighten or nationalize that for me, sir. That's my question, sir.
Okay. Thank you. So many questions. I don't know which one you want, if you heard him clearly. But the point I would just want to point out is, players, they can't identify players in the league. Which players, there are no star players in the league to carry the league. But go on.
Yeah, so in the days of old, right, when we saw Segun Odegbami in 1978, we saw him again in 79. We saw him again in 80. So we can follow.
Yeah.
We can follow him. We can, but now, any star player this season is out of the league next season. Right? He's gone to maybe Tanzania, Zambia, Bangladesh. So that is difficult. You see, the guy said he does not even know any player.
Yeah.
And that's why I said it is more than putting the games on TV. This is more than that. People need to know these people. You see, it's who you know that you will follow. It's the turnout rates of good players is very high. Once they have a very good season this season, they are out next season. Once they have a good season this season, they are out next season. So it is, and this still boils down to not enough money in the league. We don't pay these players enough. That is my problem. We don't pay enough. We simply do not pay enough. The average wage of a Nigerian player, 600, 700,000. And of course, people will say, 700,000 is a lot of money now. But no, because a footballer's career is short. He cannot play this game after 40 years. So he needs to save up for when he gets old. So he must make all the money he can whilst he's still active. That's the problem. So by and large, for me, there must be a way to attract more money into the league. Once that comes into the league, now imagine each club gets 500 million from the league. That means the league requires 10 billion, right?
Yeah.
They'll be able to pay a bit more because they have their own money as well anyway. I mean, rather than getting 10,000, so you got 500 million. I mean, the lists in EPL, they collect hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean,
of euros and pounds.
Hello.
Hold the
That's
line.
why they are able to pay properly, pay proper wages, do up their stadiums properly. You know, football, and like I keep saying, football is entertainment. It is basically entertainment. So I was asking my colleagues, look, why is it that people are able to go and watch Davido and buy a table for 5 million?
Yeah.
And they are not able to come to the stadium and pay 50,000 for gate fee? It's the same entertainment. That means we don't entertain them enough. They are willing to go and pay Davido, but are not willing to come and watch 22 players. Davido, you're only watching Davido to play to sing for you. You know,
Oh, we have another caller. We have another caller. But you know, caller. Hello.
Hello. Good morning, Big Check.
Good morning, Biodun. Aha. Just before you say anything, because I recognize that voice. This is Biodun Alabi. I recognize his voice. But Biodun, before you even say anything, you know,
Yes, sir.
Rashidi Yekini, you know, remember I read an editorial about him this morning. Rashidi Yekini, 5 years after he stopped playing professionally abroad, he was only playing every Friday football in Ibadan. We brought him to come and play for Gateway Football Club. The first football match he played in Gateway, that stadium was jam-packed because it was Rashidi Yekini, who had retired 5 years before. Just to show you the power of a big name in football. The same thing happened with Ahmed Musa in Kano. When he came back to play for them, the stadium was filled to capacity. Anyway, Biodun Alabi, you are not even introducing yourself. So this is Otumba Kunle Soname. Go ahead with your contribution.
Good morning, Big Check. Good morning, Otumba.
Mr.
Okay, Mr. Kunle, or Honorable Kunle Soname. Former honorable, but once an honorable, forever an honorable. And he's bigger than Otumba in Nikene now. Yeah, go ahead.
Big Check, I'd like to commend you first and foremost for dragging Honorable Soname to the studio.
The man doesn't like publicity at all. The man does not like publicity. He just likes to work from behind the scenes and so on. But he was very generous. He didn't even argue with me. He embraced it, you know, he embraced it. Otherwise, I would have dealt with him.
and I like the fact that you brought this topic to the table this morning, Big Check. Because this topic is the core of Nigerian football. It's not even about the national team. This is the core of Nigerian football. After the Stars lost to Mamelodi Sundowns in Abeokuta, I wrote a piece titled Still Flowers for Remo Stars. A lot of people criticized me and said, why did they have to praise the team that lost 5-1 at home? You know, and all that, the Nigerian champions. And I tried to analyze to them that, look, I've gone to research. Mamelodi Sundowns was founded in the 60s. Remo Stars was founded like 21, 24 years ago. I know the story of Remo Stars. From Denda FC and to the time they were the Remo Stars was the nemesis for Gateway United FC in the early 2000s in Ogun State. And I said, look, these are two teams that have different histories. And all we can do is to commend and encourage Honorable Soname to continue to do what he's doing. And for us to continue to pray that we have more Nigerians like him who will invest their money and the money of their businesses in football. Big Sheikh, I like a few days ago that it's clearly not a case of whether we are playing good football or not, or whether we have the talent or not. It's a question of the competition between Naira and other currencies, Naira and dollar, Naira and euro, Naira and pounds. Just like Honorable Soname said the other time, the lifespan of a footballer is no more than maybe 10, 15 years. And so he also wants to survive. He has dependents. It's quite different from your era, Big Sheikh. When you played football, you only played football for entertainment. And even the money that you earned playing for Shooting Stars of Ibadan, you were like one of the richest men around in Nigeria then, because the money was enough for you to take care of your family, you know, to move around, to go clubbing, to chase all the girls and all that.
Okay, Biodun, ask your question. Ask your question, because you are saying what you...
It's not a question, Bishek. It's just a comment. I think we need to continually encourage Honorable Soname for what he's doing. Okay, because it's a question of our players in Nigeria seeking economic and social mobility. And so regularly, our players will continue to go abroad. And just like Honorable Soname said, we need to invest more money in the league in such a way that players from other parts of Africa, maybe West Africa, will come to Nigeria and play for our club sides, so that we can compete against teams like Mamelodi Sundowns. In the 80s, we had Eriakwa, we had Bode Williams, who came to play for Abiola Babes. And even Shooting Stars, we had Ghanaians that came to play for them. Because Naira was stronger than all other currencies in West Africa. So Naira has to grow. So our football is also tied to our economy. And as long as our economy is still struggling, we are likely to continue to struggle with our local football. In the long run, it's just the international football that we'll be celebrating. So the conclusion for me, Big Sheikh, is that we need to encourage Honorable Soname, and we'll continue to also attract and encourage other people that are well-meaning like him to put their money in Nigerian football, local football, so that our league can grow and become strong and attractive enough for our players to stay back, so that we can build a very local football system. Thank you, Bishop.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Biodu. The guy said so much there. My comment.
Yes.
There are more viewing centers where people go to watch football matches every week. There are more viewing centers in Nigeria than there are churches and mosques put together. There are more academies in Nigeria, mushroom academies in every street and every corner, academies all over the place, than there are churches and mosques put together in Nigeria. Nigerians with their build, they are born for sport. The average Nigerian is born for sport, born to run, born to dribble, born to do those things that other people do not do around the world. And that's the truth. In virtually all sports that have to do with speed and strength and power. Why are we not harnessing all of these energies and attributes and endowments? I don't know. How? I want your own lamentation.
Big Sheikh, you have said it all. Let's 11 Maradonas that are not organized. We lose against 11 average players, but that are organized.
Very good.
We simply need to organize ourselves. We need to organize ourselves. You have said it all. We are built for sports. And that's even the reason why we are still where we are now. If not, it will have been worse. There is abundance of talent here. When this one goes today, another one is coming. When this one goes today, another one is coming. Because we are over 220 million people. And we are built for sports. We jump higher, we run faster, we fight harder. Just the Nigerian never say die. The fiber in our tissue is stronger than the Europeans. And that is what is still upholding us now. But what is most important is to organize ourselves. We need to organize ourselves properly. Without organization, nothing is going to work. And you also see this even in the national team. Even in the national team, we hear the lamentations of the people that come to play for us. They lament, didn't get to tell on time. We didn't deposit. We just need, football is about organization. If you don't organize yourself properly, you're not going to get the results. That is what we need to do. Organize ourselves properly. And and of course, another layer to that is get people that are one, knowledgeable, and two, that have got things to lose if things fail. Then you'll see that people will work better. But when you put people that have got nothing to lose, if things fail, they become lackadaisical. If it fails, if it does not fail, so that is also very important. But I mean, by and large, we've come some way, for sure. We've come some way, but we still have a long way to go. Long way to go.
I have so many messages from so many people around the world. I will share some with you after the program. And people are wondering, with all, you're telling us, you are recommending to us now the sort of people who can organize us. And we are looking at one who is a grand success in all the businesses that he does. You are a model for young entrepreneurs. You are a model for all of those who are involved in the huge sports business in Nigeria and even beyond. And we are looking at a potential president of the Nigeria Football Federation. Why have you not practiced what you preach? Why are you not putting yourself forward so that let's adopt you as the president? You have the knowledge and experience. Now, unique experiences that nobody else has. That's what you have. Are you thinking of it?
Victor, no. You see, we are simply not cut out for with the way the NFF is now, right? With the way it's presently constituted, the way they run, the way they, it's not for people like us. No, it's not. I mean, it's.
But you are operating on that. You are operating under them.
Yeah. I hear that, and I must say that I doff my heart for people that go there, and the task is down to. It can be done, no doubt. It's been done elsewhere, so it's not a matter of reinventing the wheel. It's just a matter of, plugging into the wheel, and it goes on and on. But not all things are as they seem or as they look in Nigeria. I mean, I know the kind of struggles they go through in NFF there, to get things done. So it's not for people like me. I mean, because I don't like to fail at anything. So if I try to go there, it means I'm ready to commit my resources
and to succeed. And to succeed. Because failing will not be an option. So maybe that's the person we are looking for. I don't ask for your comment anymore. Don't comment anymore.
Okay. Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you very much, Big Sheikh.
Look, on behalf of all our viewers around the world, on behalf of all of us who are involved in the football business in Nigeria, and in fact in Africa, I want to thank you for showing up this morning to come and share of your experiences and your knowledge with us. It's been very, very illuminating. And, well, I just wish we had more time to go on. But this is enough. It's enough for us to digest for the next 1 or 2 years, in fact. But thank you very much, Honorable
You're most welcome,
Kunle Soname, for showing up this morning. Well, this is Eagle 7 Sports Radio. That's all we can provide you this morning. Join us again next week, Saturday, when we bring you another big package. Kunle Soname for you. Bye-bye.